Sometimes there's areas of the garden that just are a feast for the eyes. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and today we are in our Waterfall Garden, the garden that is right out front as you enter into the garden center here at Garden Crossings. And everything is just looking fantastic this year. I'm really pleased with the flowers that Ben and I chose this winter. Sometimes you pick things and you're just not sure what or how they're going to do, but this year they have done wonderful. So one of the key staple plants in this bed are the sun patiens. And we love using the sun patiens because they're pretty easy to care for. As long as you have a good water source for them, they are happy all summer long. They really don't need any fertilizer, they don't need deadheading, they really don't need anything but sufficient water. And they just give a beautiful, solid mass of color. Behind this one here, we have the Color Blaze. This is the Lime Time Color Blaze Coleus. And using foliage in the garden also is important. I mean, flowers give you that color, but look at the amount of color that the foliage is giving here with this Lime Time Coleus. A lot of people think that Coleus are to be grown in a full shade area. Well, let me give you a little tip here. The Color Blaze Coleus can be grown in full sun to full shade. But the more sun it gets here in West Michigan, the happier and the more vibrant the coloration is of the plants. Now, for those of you in the south, maybe you need to go a little bit more part shade because they may burn up. I'm from the north, not from the south, so I'm not sure exactly what you need to do. But for us here in the north, full sun brings out the most vibrant coloration in the Color Blaze Coleus. As we make our way down and through, we'll talk about a few of the other plants that are looking fantastic as well. We've got these butterfly bush. These are the Lo and Behold Blue Chip Junior Butterfly Bush. And they are just gorgeous. Very compact, only about 24 to 30 inches tall by about 36 inches wide. And the butterflies love hanging out here on those butterfly bush. Some more annuals that are just really doing a huge pop of color are the begonias. These are the Surefire Cordial Cherry Begonias. Now, sometimes people may think that red and pink don't go together, but to be honest, I think red and pink are quite complementary, especially when we're taking this deep, dark black, glossy foliage of the Surefire Begonias with a beautiful pink here in the sun patiens. And you can see they are just thriving. They're living just their best life. Right now, the garden that we're in gets sun from about 11 until sun goes down. This is a westward facing garden, and it also gets a lot of wind. So there's cornfields across from us. So there's a lot of wind that comes ripping through the corn and soybean fields that hits this garden space. So all of these plants are taking that full sun and the wind with no problem. Continuing down as we get closer to the actual waterfall, we have a huge mass planting of the sun-credible yellow sunflowers. So we bring those right up in the back there at the tippy top of that waterfall. And I just love how they kind of frame in this whole garden. It creates a nice backdrop with that waterfall there and the birds. The birds and the pollinators love hanging out on the sun-credible sunflowers. These are sunflowers that bloom all summer long. We don't need to deadhead them. They'll just continually send up more and more flowers every week. And just beautiful, beautiful yellow. I know there's a lot of people that don't love yellow in the garden. To me, yellow is a staple that's needed in the garden. You're probably hearing the traffic, and this noise that you're hearing is why we affectionately call one of our gardens the 55-mile-an-hour garden, because this traffic is just whipping past us. As we look up and into the waterfall, you'll see that it's lined again with the sun patiens. The middle of the waterfall is always kind of a tricky area. It's either too wet or it's too dry, and plants just don't do well. Well, this year we put sun patiens in the middle, and then we lined it with the Euphorbia Diamond Frost, and it is doing beautiful. I would definitely do that again. Sometimes when you find something that works, you stick with it, especially if you've tried several things and they consistently don't work. When you find something that works, you just go with it. And that definitely worked. The thing I like about sun patience too is that there's several different colors of sun patience. So if I wanted to recreate this look next year, but do it in a different color palette, I'll have the option to choose several other colors if I so desire. Making our way around the front of the waterfall garden here, you'll see that we've there's about 6 or 7 different annuals that we've kind of mixed in these garden beds, just to kind of give like consistent pops of color as we're walking through. So you'll notice there's more of the coleus, the lime thyme coleus, for those bright chartreuse pops of color. We also have coleus kingswood torch, and that too, the magenta, the dark burgundy, and the green really is very beautiful in this garden bed. We've got more of the begonias. If they work, let's try them in other colors. So here we have the Surefire white, and I love adding white into the garden because white just has that really beautiful glow that comes in the night. We did plant some argyratum as well, but they got buried. I love argyratum, and early on in the summer they were looking really nice, but as everything kind of got bigger, they kind of started to get buried. So this is kind of an example of know the height of the plant you're planting so that you don't lose one to something taller that's in front of it. As we continue to head down and around through the waterfall garden, we're kind of making our way away from the waterfall at this point. You'll notice again, we transitioned with a lot of the same annuals, but we did a big hedgerow of the Pennisetum rubrum grass. I love Pennisetum rubrum grass because it adds height to the garden, but it also adds motion. And it's just, there's something about motion in the garden. So I always tell people, add a few ornamental grasses in just to make your garden kind of feel like it's alive. And you can see it's a pretty breezy day today, and all of those plumes are just dancing in the breeze. That nice dark foliage looks great with all of these bright annual colors, so it does really give a nice kind of a backdrop or a border. I guess we'll call it more of a backdrop to these beautiful annuals that we have planted. If you have any questions or comments on any of the plants that we planted here annual wise in the waterfall garden, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. If you're new to our station, we welcome you to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.